Hi here once again with another insight, either help you get you on your journey or you realize that you're still stuck in traffic. Well, today I just want to share with you, and I know a lot of times I hear people say a lot that, you know, life is hard or why life have to be so tough. And when they say that, I believe that they're referring to their current circumstances, whatever it may be. And I'm here to tell you or to encourage you that there's always a solution to every problem. And it doesn't mean because you haven't found it or discovered it yet that there aren't one. So you just have to continue to seek and search for it. And you do this by telling yourself the same exact thing, that there is a solution. I just haven't come across it, or I just haven't figured it out yet. Now, just want to give you some steps. Hopefully it'll help you, you know, in your current situation, or in the event that a situation should arise that might be a little painful for you to deal with. Whether it might be a broken heart, whether it might be feeling betrayed by someone, whether it might be losing a job or going through a divorce or going through any kind of relationship problems or whatever. You can implement these steps here, and I believe that it will definitely help you to put things in a place that is manageable for you to deal with. And the first thing to do is to plan action. Have a plan of action that how you're going to handle the situation. So I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say you got a broken heart. Say something happened to you in your life, and for whatever reason, you and your spouse or your significant other, you know, something happened, and, you know, there's no trust there, and you decide that, hey, listen, things are not going to work, and you're heartbroken now, and you don't know how to deal with this situation. Now, you have to come to a point to where you have a plan of action. That's the first step, plan of action. And the plan of action means that, you know, you have to have a perspective in which you're going to view this situation. You can go into a pity party and looking at yourself as, you know, poor me, why me, you know, how could you do this and so forth, and continue to sink and weep and, you know, continue in that, wallowing in your sorrows. Or you can put it in a perspective to accept the circumstances for what it is. But whatever it is, it has to be a perspective in which it makes the situation a little more easier to bear. Now, finding the perspective is what's going to help you to do this. Whatever perspective that you choose, let it be a perspective that gives you some kind of ease, but not so much going to a mode to where you become more hateful and more revengeful and want to inflict the same kind of pain on the individual that might have caused it, if it's a situation like that. The next step is to be aware of your emotion. While you're going through this situation, you know, you might either be upset, angry, disappointed, you know, feel like you've been betrayed, feel let down, disappointment, whatever emotional state you might be in that moment. It's not for you to suppress it and try to smile through the pain. You know, if you feel like crying, cry. If you feel angry for a minute or in that moment, you know, express your frustration, but don't let it be where it becomes physical. You know, you can express how you feel or your discontent through writing, through calling, you know, if you have a partner that you can call, a good friend that you can, you know, open up and share with, you know, that'll give you an outlet for you to acknowledge that, you know, you're feeling the way that you're feeling, you know, and continue in that path. You know, the next point is acceptance. Come to a point of acceptance of the situation, whatever it may be, and acknowledge the role that you have contributed to the current circumstances that you're in. And a lot of times we're in situation and we want to find the fault and the blame in everyone else, and not realize that it might have been, in some cases, it might have been something that you contributed to your current situation. Acknowledge your part that you played in that situation that brought it to the point in which it's at the moment. And in so doing, what it does, it helps to hold you accountable for your actions. And it also takes away the sting of pointing the blame. Because now when you point the blame at someone, it doesn't help your situation. Because all it does is help you to come up with more fear of, you know, things getting out of hand, or more hateful feelings and emotions towards that person that you cannot control. And 9 out of 10 times you hating that person and that person don't know you hating them, or 9 out of 10 times if they did something intentionally to hurt you, they don't care themselves that you're hurting. So it doesn't help you to continue to fuel that anger and that hatred towards, someone else that also contributed to your current circumstances. Leaving things off in a place of love. And at the end of it, after you come to this point of acceptance, a place of love. Always walk away from any circumstances that is difficult from you, putting things in a perspective to where love is the end result of the situation. Meaning, give an example like I just gave, the scenario of a heartbreak. Don't be hateful towards that person that might have done something to hurt you in any which way. But show them love. Now you might say, well, why show them love when they didn't have no regards for your feelings? Well, you know what? We all at some point have done the same thing to someone else. We all have moved with some disregard or something of that nature. And it's a never-ending cycle. So in leaving it in a place of love, it helps you to move to the next stage. Now, let me help you to reflect now. For those that might be familiar with the scripture, Jesus Christ in the Garden of Gethsemane before his crucifixion. He was in a fearful state at that point where, he knew that he had to lay his life down so that we all can be here and, have an opportunity at salvation. And in that moment, while he was in the garden, the fear came upon him. And he prayed and he asked his Father 3 times, God the Father 3 times, to remove that cup from him, meaning that help him to get through that situation. And he heard no answer. And is at that point he came to a point of acceptance of, his role that he had to play, that he was created for. And in so doing, I believe that the pain subsided and it was placed in a place of love. And he was able to accept his situation and move in a spirit of love. And because of that love, he was able to allow himself to be put on the cross, rose the 3rd day, and you know the story. So I want to follow that same protocol. And I want to encourage you to follow the same protocol of leaving things in a place of love. Come into a point of acceptance, find a perspective in which to put things in, and do not move in any hateful manner towards anyone. Moving in a hateful manner towards anyone will definitely keep you attached to that person. Waking up hating that person and wishing bad for them would only continue to have you attached to the very thing that you believe is causing your pain or your discomfort. So in moving in a spirit of love and wishing them good fortune, it helps you to release yourself from the same grasp of that individual that might have done something to you. So continue in the spirit of love. So the 4 steps: have a plan of action, acknowledge your emotional state, come to a point of acceptance, and leave things off in the spirit of love. Have a blessed day.